Hi guys, Brain here, and welcome to another commentary video. I wanted to just talk about something really quick, something I find really dumb in the DVD community, and it's obviously been stirred up by certain content creators that you'll know who I'm referring to. They're not going to be mentioned by name here, nor am I going to be intentionally dissing those people, but you know, some people have brought up some interesting cases, some interesting arguments in the DVD community that seem to be kind of just dumb and don't make any sense, and I'm going to talk to you about exactly why. There's been a straw man that DVD content creators have been using, not only, you know, recently with a very specific example, but over time in Dead by Daylight, which is the idea that if you disagree with me and you have a different experience than me, no matter what the topic may be, the power of a perk, the power of a map, survivors and swifts versus sweaty killers, you use the straw man that other person's feelings are invalid because you guys are in different MMR, and that's why we disagree. If you think swifts are OP, that's just because you are in high MMR and that's all you face. If you think swifts are fair and not a problem, that's just because you're in low MMR and you don't face a lot of swifts. Just for an example. So people like to use this as an argument to kind of like, you know, a straw man, like I said, to kind of hold up their arguments is like, well, the reason we don't seem to see eye to eye is the reason we can't disagree. You just don't understand. You just don't get it because you're not in the same MMR as me. I'm in a very high MMR and you're in a very low MMR. So the things you whine about and you complain about are different than what I whine and complain about. Now that's intrinsically true if you really think about it. Somebody's experience at high MMR is going to be vastly different from somebody who's having an experience at low MMR. The way the players they play against versus the players you play against are going to be vastly different. You're going to have different perks. You're going to have different people offering to different maps. The experience is entirely different based on what MMR you're playing at. That's just an ergo. That's natural. I feel like that's not what's being argued here though. What's being argued is that they're making the affirmation that they know for a fact that you're in low MMR and they're in high MMR, and that's why your opinion's wrong. And I have to ask here, how exactly do you know what your MMR is? Without hacking, without using any external tools, is there actually a way to check MMR? Literally at all? Or is this all quite literally just conjecture? The one thing I will say that kind of holds some water here is that you can kind of get a general idea of your MMR, not too down to a specific number, but kind of a general range. If I play, and in a majority of my games I am winning, so let's say I win 70 to 80% of my games, I can make the rough assumption that my MMR is going up over a certain period of time. I am literally improving in MMR just simply. Like that's just simple math. If you win, you're getting rewarded with higher MMR. So if you win a majority of the time, you know that you're on a positive trend. You are increasing MMR. You are going up. And if you continue to do that, you can assume that you're going from mid to high MMR because you continue to win and that continues to gain you points. And vice versa, if you're losing a lot, if you're losing 70-80% of your games, you can probably assume that you're mid or low MMR because you can tangibly realize that, oh, I'm losing a lot of points each time I die here. Every single time I don't make it out of this trial, and it's not through hatch, I am losing MMR. I am losing MMR. And you can think about that trend and go, okay, well, my MMR can't be too high because I have consistently lost a lot of matches over a long period of time. Those are generalizations you can make, and those are okay. That makes sense to me. The problem in the crutch of this bad argument being is that you can firmly assert that you are high MMR and of the highest MMR, and the person next to you is not. Because without using external tools, there's no way to actually check someone else's MMR. To know somebody else's MMR, even just like a vague idea of it, you would have had to sit, if they streamed, and a lot of people that make these arguments don't stream, sit in their stream and watch them over a long period of time to get a general idea of where they possibly might be. And that's just an inkling. That's just a little idea of like, oh, this person wins about 90% of their matches. They're probably, and they've done it for a long time, they're probably in high MMR. You need to gather a lot of data. A lot of data is required to make that assertion, to make that claim. That requires a lot of data to make that claim, to make that assertion. So, and I doubt, the problem is, I guess I can't say with absolute certainty, but I can almost say with absolute certainty that the people that use the, oh, it's different MMRs argument aren't doing that research, aren't going into someone's stream, watching them play for weeks on end and watching, they do win 75.5% of their matches, which means they're on an upward slope based on how many points they're worth. Like, people don't do that. People don't do that. So it's just a straw man, just an easy out, just to go, aha, see, I'm just better MMR than you. That's why. And they don't put in the research or the thought to actually like gather that data to properly make that assertion. Now, a lot of these problems, a lot of these assertions come from people who have played the game for an incredibly long amount of time. That's usually the people that go, well, you just don't understand because you're not at the highest MMR. And there is something to the idea that, well, they've played the game for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of hours. You still need to keep track of, are they winning most often? Are they winning for long periods of time? And compared to other people who are also doing the same thing, right? How many people are also doing the same thing at the same rates that that other person is? It's so vague that, like, you can't make that assertion solidly. You can only make a best guess based on context clues, and even that's incredibly sketchy. So this, well, I guess the TLDR of what I'm trying to say is this whole my MMR is better than you, and that's why we disagree comment. There's no way to really solidly and consistently make that claim because there's just not really the ability to check MMR, at least currently, without people having external tools. So you can't really make that assumption in the methods that do exist for people to be able to kind of like guess what MMR they're at are very flimsy and very almost too vague, almost too general to really make sense. So yeah. So if somebody tells you this, if somebody tries to argue with this and say, well, my MMR is just higher than you, then that's not true. Don't buy that. There's no way to actually firmly check MMR. And like I said, the generalizations are extremely wide, so it's a flimsy argument at best. So don't buy into people when they say that. Don't trust other people that say that. They don't know what they're talking about. So hopefully that helps you out there in the DBD community. I just wanted to firmly state that since I've been seeing that a lot lately, and some big content creators have been using that to defend their opinions, which is dumb. Anyways, that's it for today's video, friends. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. But if I do not, I will see you when I see you. Goodbye.